Do you remember the movie Groundhog Day where Bill Murray plays a cynical weatherman, Phil Connors, who is forced to repeat the same day over and over again until he finally figures out how to make the best of it? Well, how many of us can relate to that? When I was a little girl, I wanted a hamster, but after the great guinea pig incident of 1986, that was not happening. In 1986, my dad decided it would be adorable to get two guinea pigs, John and Wendy, but nobody told him what happens when two guinea pigs fall in love, and pretty soon we had 20 guinea pigs. After the incident in 1986, we had 19 guinea pigs. Who can keep track of all of those guinea pigs? It's ridiculous. Anyway, I finally was able to convince them to get a gerbil, and I named this gerbil Penelope. Looking back, I don't know what the difference is between a hamster and a gerbil, but for whatever reason, the gerbil was okay. And Penelope was adorable. She used to run on her wheel in her cage over and over again. And somewhere in my mid-30s, I realized I had become Penelope. I was running really hard, really fast, and working my tail off, but was I getting anywhere, or was I just running on this wheel? You know, if we're not careful, each day becomes the same day, and we just end up in this repetitive cycle, and we kind of end up where we're headed. And most of us draw a bullseye around ourselves, declare it victory, and move on. We hold out for retirement, or I'll be happy when. But if we're not really careful, we just kind of land somewhere, whether it's where we wanted to be or not. And that's where this tool that I developed, Mind Over Moment, comes in. Mind Over Moment is based in science, and it's the idea that we can break out of reactivity and take back control of our lives to really design our life by choice and live it on purpose. So where do you start if you're trapped in this Penelope syndrome? If you're going through the motions but not necessarily any closer to where you want to end up? It starts by defining where you want to end up. I know it sounds simple, but most of us think, I'll know it when I see it. Right? I'll figure it out when I get there, but that's not how your brain works. Your brain, if you give it a destination, a clear picture of what you want your life to look like, it will work consciously and subconsciously. It will work backwards and find ways to reverse engineer that reality. So the first thing is to really figure out what you want. Next, it's figuring out why you want it. When stuff gets hard, when life gets tough, when obstacles get in our way, if we don't have a strong what's in it for me, why is it so important, then it's really easy to give up. So what is it that you want your life to look like, and why is that important for you? Next, it's figuring out what obstacles are in your way, and some of those you have control over, and some of those you don't. But if you don't take time to figure out what's in your way, you can't figure out how to jump those hurdles. So it's being really deliberate about thinking proactively about what could get in your way and how you can create a plan to get around the things that the things that you have control over. And then it's reevaluating. It's reassessing. It's not just going through the motions. It's starting your day with a few quiet moments and defining what your intention for the day is. What do you want to find? What do you want to see? Where are you going to be able to make choices that can get you closer to that definition of success? It's easy for each day to become the same day, but the problem is that we get stuck in a rut. And I once heard someone say that a rut is nothing more than a grave with no ends. You know, we act like this life is something that we're going to survive, and we're not. We live carefully, afraid to fail. But if you want to break out of Groundhog Day or break free of the Penelope syndrome, it really means that you have to stop and be mindful of what you are doing, what your goal is, and how you're working closer to get there every single day. Don't be Phil Connors, Poxitani Phil, or was that the Groundhog? But as we jump into Groundhog Day, determine whether you're going to see the shadow or not. Are you going to make each day new and fresh and getting closer toward what you want to achieve, or are you going to get stuck doing the same thing over and over and over again? Make the choice, you guys. Mind over moment.